Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and
morning.
welcome to Main Street TV and the morning show, of course. And Jennifer here with our good friend Courtney is in the house.
On the other side of the camera where I can't screw things up.
You did so good yesterday. Even this girl has like no confidence. I come in and she's like, and I'm like, what is
Don't
wrong
talk
with
to
you?
me.
Don't talk to me. I'm trying
concentrating.
to push all the buttons.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Courtney, here's 20 pictures. Can you get those downloaded for us real quick?
I was like, oh, by the way, Kaya sent a bunch of pictures and I forgot to already go ahead and send them. So can you just go ahead and get those situated for us as well? But you did fantastic.
All right. We did all right. We
did
started
great.
a little late.
Yes.
Had sound off for about a minute and a half. But that's all right. We figured it out.
We figured it out. You did great. Pictures were up. That was fun learning about skincare.
It was. I think I'm going to call her and do the dermo.
I do it. I love it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to call her and get that done.
It's very, like I said, it's very humbling when you when you
See
look
all
at all
the
the junk that comes off your
stuff that came
face.
off.
Yeah. Like even she'll be like up here. I'm like, do I have hair up there?
Yeah.
We all do. Like you just don't
I don't know. I feel like my eyebrows grow all the way up to my hair sometimes.
They grow together.
Why
they
is
grow
there
up.
one
They grow
right
down.
here?
Why is there a big hair sticking out of my forehead?
Right.
And it's like, why as we get older, and this is really weird, but why do you get like all these like hairs random hair? And I thought it was just me, but as I talk with other women, they're like, no, they just show up.
I have a pact with like all of my friends, and like if I am ever incapacitated, someone has to come in and take care of the chin hair.
Yes, please, for the love of God, someone come pluck me.
Don't let me lay there and grow.
No.
So
maybe we'll just like Rip Van Winkle.
I'll just get Kaya on retainer.
Yeah, right. That's what we need to
She'll
do.
be my power of attorney.
This is why I keep her as a friend.
Like, well, we don't know what she wants to do not resuscitate, but we do know that she wants her chin hair plucked.
Courtney needs her chin hair plucked. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So we have a special guest coming in. Not that Courtney's not a special guest. Our good friend John Moore is going to be in to talk about True Sports.
Yes, very exciting.
Yeah, and some fun things that they have coming up. But you have something that's really neat.
we kind of touched on it very lightly when we were talking to Mr. O'Boyle about the upcoming football games. But in yesterday's newspaper, we have an awesome spread of our 2022 football preview. So in here, you can see all of your local schools. We've got Vinton County, Wellston, the Ironman, and Oak Hill all in here. You can read about the upcoming football season.
My goodness, look at all those
I
people.
know. We've got pictures of the band in here. We've got an article about Total Media and our new announcers and how we're going to be covering the game. Complete write-ups on
Love that.
each
Where you
football
can find the
team.
games, all that stuff.
Got your schedule in here. We've got your roster.
See, there's so much, it's just flying everywhere.
Right. We got cheerleaders in here. We've got everything. So if you didn't get a chance to pick up yesterday's edition, you definitely want to stop by and do that. Or look, you can see it online too. So it's pretty cool. They worked really hard on this. I want to thank all of our sponsors that sponsored this so we could have the extra pages to cover the sports. So that's great too. But I thought it was a really good spread and wanted to let everybody know about it before John came on.
That's right. And then that was in yesterday's paper.
Yes, yesterday's paper.
So you need to run out, pick it up. And this is like scrapbook moment stuff
Right, yeah,
here.
you
Like,
keep it-
I mean, you
yeah.
need to keep these for the kids. And
It's so much fun to go back and look at. Like,
hey, look at
later
Andy's
on.
putting up the
Looky
pictures.
there, Andy.
Look at you.
Isn't that a sharp? James designed the top, so
Looks very good.
nice sharp. Thanks. Shout out to Vinton County Bank for that front page ad. But yeah, it's like you said, a scrapbook. It's fun, like to keep them for your kids, and then
Those are
when you
memories.
finally kick them and all their stuff out of the house, they can look back on all this and be like, "Oh, look!" Like and read about their games and look at who they played against and all that. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. And just remembering fellow teammates and cheerleaders and band members and people that were there all at that same time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because I don't remember anything from high school, so it's great to have this stuff to go back and go like, oh yeah, he was on the team. I forgot about him.
I know. Like I can remember on graduation day saying, I just don't understand why people say they can't remember their classmates. Like we're all such good friends. I know we'll be good friends forever. And like then people come in, they're like, remember we graduated together? I'm like, or people will say, what class did they like? I'm like, I don't know. They're a couple years older or younger than me. Right, I don't know. Yeah. Like you do forget.
I was looking at like the list of names of people that graduated with us, and there was literally a person in front of me or behind me. I can't remember what her first name was, but her name was Milliken. My maiden name's Milliken. It wasn't spelled the same, but still, I don't have any recollection of that. Like you would think somebody that was that close to your last name that you might remember. So I'm like, did this person just come in real late that I don't remember them or what? But
or do I just suck that bad?
My brain's just that.
Is my brain that shot? Yeah. But no, it is very interesting and
it's just fun to have that stuff to look back on.
It is very fun. So. And please get your copy of the Telegram.
Pick it up today. Like I said, though, you could go online and subscribe too. If you want to print it out, you can download the PDF version and print it out and even have that.
That's really cool. Just go to telegramnews.com.
Yep, telegramnews.com.
Yep. You can get there through Facebook or anyway. So very cool. Well, thank you, Courtney, for letting us know about that. That is so good. Yeah. And they did such a good job.
They did. They worked really hard. Todd, Brock, all the designers, Andy, Christina, James, everybody worked real hard to get that together. So
Speaking of James, we finally got pictorial evidence last night that he is alive.
Okay.
Yes.
I almost texted him.
We were getting a little worried because we hadn't talked to him.
Wednesday, Tuesday, I was like, I haven't heard from James. I might text him. He's like I do my child. Proof of life, please.
Yes, proof of life. So we get this rando message from him last night. Courtney's like, thank God, proof of life.
He's okay. He's not lost in the hills of North Carolina.
I got a really cute picture from him last night because I had told him, I said, they went to Asheville and some other places. And I said, Asheville is one of my favorite places in the world. And he said, where do I have to go? And I said, I'm just going to tell you one place you have to go is Burial Brewing. And I said, because their beer is off the chain, but it's a really cool place too. Yeah. So I was showing him this mural.
I think I saw that on Facebook today.
Yeah, so I actually, and Andy, if I send it to you, can you put it up? Do you know how?
Yeah, I was actually trying to look through. I don't have the one of him and him posing in front of it, but
here, send it to me. I'll just email it to you, and then because I said if you do nothing else, I need you to get a picture in front of this mural. So that I know that you've been there to prove it. So I get a picture last night. I emailed it to you, Andy. So we'll, and then you'll get to see James's lady friend too.
I can't believe you're doing what you're doing.
I don't think he'll care, will he?
We'll find out.
Put it on Facebook, so
if you put it on Facebook, it's fair game.
James was not part of this. This is Andy and Jen.
But no, I just thought it was so cute because
I would like the explanation of the mural. Like those two things don't go together. But they do. Right?
I guess.
It's like, that's weird, but that works.
It works. Yeah. And that's what I was telling Andy off the show, and then we'll get to John, bless his heart, for sitting over here listening to us ramble. But I was like, the funny part about this mural, and they have several of them there at Burial, but this one is just like so weird. So they have picnic tables like all along the other side. You can't really see it in the picture, but if you're sitting at one of those tables, like, I mean, it's just hundreds of people, like, standing in front of like Tom Selleck and you're like, what? This is so weird, but it's so fun all at the same time. There it is.
Yeah, Tom Selleck and Chunk.
Yep.
Right? Chunk.
Is it Chunk?
I think it's Chunk.
Yeah, I don't know. No, Chunk was the kid.
No,
That's
Chunk was
Sloth.
the kid. That's Sloth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Goonies.
From the Goonies.
Great
So,
movie.
Yeah. So I told James, I said, I don't care what you do, but you have to send me a picture for that mural. So he did, bless his little heart. So good for them. I'm glad they made it.
That's all. Yeah, like the mural makes like no sense, but yet makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's huge, as you can see.
If Sloth and
Tom Selleck,
why
met,
wouldn't they're gonna hang out.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So, all right, I've
Anywho.
rambled enough. Check out the fall preview. Saturday, we will be covering the rest of the fall sports. So pick Saturday's edition up also. So
yes,
we'll be doing a preview and also kind of getting some pictures of all the other fall sports. So check that out.
That's right. And again, you can see these things online, but you need to pick up that paper because you need to. These are definitely like scrapbook material moments.
Right.
So.
It's just not the same if you don't have that newsprint on your fingers after.
I think so.
At it, right?
I love it.
Right.
Yeah. If you don't have to wash your hands afterwards.
Have you really read the paper?
No, you have not read the paper. Yeah.
All right. Well, let John come over and talk about John. Sports.
All right. We're super excited to have our good friend John in the house. And we're going to talk about true sports and probably some pizza along the way, too.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm just going to tell you, just right off the rip, I don't know how you do this pizza thing because number one, I don't know how you stay so svelte, but number two, your pizza is freaking awesome.
Well,
it is just awesome.
Well, thank you.
At Cardo's, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
First of all,
it is so good.
I have the best employees.
Yes, that helps.
Yes.
But I'll bet they would say that they have a very good boss because I tell you what, in town, I mean, just in general, in the restaurant business and whatever, employee retention, I would say in the restaurant business is very low, just in general.
It's rough out there.
And, but you retain employees and there's something to be said for that. There's a reason for that. And, but you do a fantastic job. Well, and they do. I mean,
thank you very much. Super
friendly. Go through the drive-through and they're super duper friendly, like so nice. And
we're not perfect, but we're trying.
Well, and that's the thing. That's all you can do. I mean, of course you're going to mess things up, or we're going to mess things up, or everybody's going to mess something up at some point. But
so I asked you earlier.
Yeah.
Not on air though. But do you miss the restaurant business?
I do. I mean, it's nice to have a break, but I do miss it. I miss mostly the people. I don't miss not sleeping at night, and all of the checking, like getting up and picking up your phone in the morning and waiting for all the, craziness to occur. I don't miss, some of that stuff, but I just really do miss the people. And it's like, Kaya came in. Kaya has served at the restaurant and she was our guest yesterday. She's an anesthetist. She does facials and stuff. I can't say that word. But it was so good to see her. And like, so all these people that I don't get to see as much unless I see them at Walmart or Kroger, or, something like that. And, both staff and customers as well, guests that I don't get to see as much. So yeah, I do miss that part
That's
of
my
it.
favorite part of the work at the restaurant is working the counter or the drive-through window.
Sure.
I love the customers.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't even want to say gossip is a horrible word. And it's not that you want to keep up on gossip. That's a horrible word. But you do get to kind of keep up on people's lives and like know what's going on. And you celebrate their achievements. And then, if they're low, you go through that with them as well. And, the main part is that you get to talk with people and you know what's going on with them. And so you kind of miss that part.
Yep. So I walked into the Lou Davis studio.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Lou Davis.
Yes.
And we talked about this last time, but I thought I'd bring it up again. It was about 33 years ago right now. I was talking to your dad.
Uh-huh.
Because the building he built down there on Broadway Street, there used to be Lou's Drive-In.
Lou's Drive-In. Yeah. I forgot.
90 East Broadway. I rented that 33 years ago for the pizza shop.
That's right.
And I had to ask him some questions about this and that.
Is that where it started?
Down there on 90 East Broadway Street. But your dad who built that he took time and answered all my questions for me because I had to have some, I don't know what the questions were. Something about the grease trap or something like that was one. But yeah, it was 33 years ago.
Isn't that funny? Aw, so in a roundabout way, Big Lou is partial in getting Cardo's going.
He helped me.
Isn't that awesome? Very cool.
I was in my 20s back then.
It was a few years ago.
33 years like that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But no, and I just want to commend you guys because your food is phenomenal. Love it so much, and your staff does a great job. And you had a young man that works the drive-through some when I go through there, and he's so personable. And even during like the pandemic, and it's just like I'm sure that they were just like.
Yeah, that was. Did you have to close Archinetti's during the pandemic?
We did, so we went to carry out as well. Yeah.
That was interesting.
It was a rough couple months.
Right. A lot of restaurants couldn't pivot like that. They just couldn't figure it out. But you guys figured it out.
We did.
Luckily, we had a drive-through window.
Yes.
And so we easily transitioned to that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a rough time. Pivot was certainly a word that was used daily because it was just rough, and you had to pivot. Sometimes hourly, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, but you had to keep pivoting.
Right, because going out of business wasn't part of what you were going to do.
No, and letting our community go hungry wasn't going to happen either because you couldn't get food at the store.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you just couldn't. So here we are. We have access to food. You had access to food. Our responsibility was to make sure everybody was fed safely.
Over 100,000 restaurants went out of business in that time period.
It was bad.
Over 100,000. That's crazy.
I can see why, and I will say, without the government, stepping in, there would be a lot more. I think so. I will give them credit for that. They made some boneheaded decisions, but
almost daily.
I mean, pretty much all the time. But I will say that they kept some catastrophes from happening. So that was fantastic.
So, are we past the pandemic?
No.
Okay.
But I did see the CDC director came out and basically they are just annihilating her now, and she's saying, we didn't handle all this very well. But on the other side of the coin, I mean, I don't know. Do you take a job and live your life predicting a 100-year pandemic?
Right.
Like,
That's a tough job to have.
It's a very tough job to have. It's a tough job to be the governor and all the health people and the president and all of that at the time. So now that we've solved all those problems.
I don't know if we solved any. We just highlighted
them and talked about them for a minute. But no, pandemic not over. Just talked with a friend. I had asked her if we could get together, and she said, well, on Tuesday, because I'm home with COVID right now. And I was like, God, it really is still a thing. Yeah. Not good. So be careful out there.
What else can we talk about?
We can talk about true sports.
True sports. When I saw this, it reminded me of something.
What?
I'm trying to think who that is for Jackson. Do we know who number 7 is?
Is that one of the Wolford kids?
I think Cade's number 8. And
okay.
So back when we did,
let's look it up real quick.
When we did flag football.
So I was going to say these kids have to be your kids, like from.
So we did flag football at the First Baptist
Jacob
Church.
Winners. Quarterback, yes.
So when we started flag football back in 2007 at the First Baptist Church, it was Upward Sports.
Yes.
And those first few years we did it, we were just learning how to do it. But all of a sudden it dawned on us, these kids are awesome. Yeah. And we've seen awesome kids every year we've done it. But there was one group of kids that was my son Cooper's a junior right now. So when he was in kindergarten, first, second, third, and the kids maybe right in that area of age group, we were all like, when these kids get to high school, it's going to be something to watch. And it's right now to see Eli Berman and Cade Wolford. And then some that graduated last year, like the Blankenship boy and Coach McGraw's son. Mm-hmm. And I'm not naming all of them, of course. They just come to mind.
Because they're all talented.
It was something to see in first grade.
Yes.
And then we all knew it was going to happen when they got to high school.
Isn't that crazy?
And come watch Friday night. Because we saw it back when they're in first and second, third grade. But no, come watch them Friday night because we knew it was coming.
Yep.
And then also in our soccer program, there were great soccer players came through. I'm biased, but my son Cooper, he's on the varsity soccer team.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch that also.
Yeah.
And some of those fellow players.
And I think they started, just as little babies.
But you saw it early. Some, of course, push themselves and improve through the years. And then some kids are just, you see it very early. They have it very early.
Well, there's talent where you work at it, there's also God-given talent, and there's, all of this, and you could be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't work at it,
Right.
or vice versa.
Right.
I think there's a lot of high school athletes that would say, yeah, I wasn't born to do this, but I've worked my butt off, and here I am.
And in youth sports, we talked about this last time, there are 3 levels of youth sports. And I've been blessed to see this in action. You have your first level is discovery. That's, those kids come and play a sport for the first time, and they fall in love with the sport. They like being part of it.
Or they don't, and that's fine too, but they get to learn.
They discover one thing or the other.
Yes.
Yeah. So then after they discover it, then they start developing the skills. For that love turns into developing skills. And then after they do that for a while and they've working on perfecting it, then it's performance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to see Friday night at the football games. So you get discovery, development, performance. And the parents, you have to be very mindful of where your kid's at, to help them through those stages. Because some parents are like, what's his problem? Well, he's
still in discovery stage.
He's developing,
Yeah.
They don't go straight to performance.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, we would like for that to happen, but of course
doesn't
that
always
doesn't happen.
But so be mindful of that as a parent with youth sports and be there, help them get through those stages: discovery, development, performance.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that's fantastic, and that's what you are helping these kids do at such a young age. So let's back up for a minute and talk about True Sports in general and how it came to be. I know, you did start over at the First Baptist Church. Okay, I went to Kennison. So where Kennison used to be,
Yep.
there is now a lovely grass field there.
A lovely field over there.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what year it was. Probably around 2005, the First Baptist Church was able to buy that.
A few years ago.
Time's flying.
Yeah.
First Baptist Church bought that, and we reconditioned it, and we started flag football there in 2007. And it was Upward Sports, which is a national nonprofit ministry that will partner with churches to put on sports events.
Yes.
Basketball is their main sport.
Okay.
But they have flag football. So we did that, and then 2009 added soccer, and did it, and then the pandemic hit. And there's a couple years there we didn't do anything. And so around that time, my wife and myself and my great friend Justin Oyer for Warriors for Christ over on Mound Street, we formed a nonprofit, and we got a piece of property on McCarty Lane, which is about 1/16 of a mile past Dakota's.
Yes.
On the left.
On the left.
You'll see it.
Same side of the road.
Yep. And we just, with the blessings of the First Baptist Church, we just went and did our own thing, True Sports. And I was just talking to Matt in there about we had our soccer program, which you allowed me to come on a few months ago and talk about before we did it.
Yes, and it was so neat because you had some Rio soccer players helping.
It exceeded all of our expectations because these guys from Rio, there were 74 young men on the Rio soccer team.
Okay.
Not one from America. None of them.
Wow.
And so through an employee, actually, I got to get to know some of these guys. And they came to our facility and trained the kids in soccer. And we do kindergarten through 6th grade. They came 3 or 4 times a week up.
As college soccer players?
Yes.
Wow.
And it exceeded all of our expectations because they were wonderful guys who love kids. They showed up early.
Oh, there's a picture of your field there.
Yep. Pete went out there and took that picture.
It's beautiful. It's just so... Well, it's just big.
It's a great vibe out there too.
It's
nice and relaxed,
peaceful.
And yes, very peaceful. Yeah. But those guys from Rio, one guy's from Chile, guy from Portugal, guy from Spain, and a couple guys from Argentina came up, and they were so good with the kids, and the kids learned so much soccer. So I'm very excited, of course, for flag football and cheerleading to come up, but next spring for our next soccer program.
Yes. And hopefully we can continue with that relationship with the Rio players because my goodness.
Those guys I get to know. I love getting to know someone from another country to hear about their culture and stuff like that. Soccer is pretty much a big part of their culture. You know, it's here. They're like, in America, you guys will play a season of soccer and then you'll play basketball and then you play
it's
baseball.
Seasonal, just like the leaves and the everything else.
Then you get back to soccer.
Yes.
Not there.
No.
Every boy's dream in a lot of those countries is to become a professional soccer player.
Isn't that Wild. So here it's football,
Right.
but they call it football as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever travel to other countries, it's amazing to us as Americans that, people are gathered around at a bar or a restaurant or whatever watching soccer games on TV, and we're like,
I've grown, my appreciation for it has grown being around those guys, especially because their love for it, it's different than, you see love for sports here. It's a very unique love.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And when they can walk, they had a soccer ball at their feet.
Yes. And that's so good. And you're exactly right. They live it. They just live soccer.
So to get those guys to come up and train our kids, that's what we need in this area, because there's kind of a drought in this area for the correct training for soccer. There's some guys around, but man, they did such a great job.
Good.
So then you get to flag football, and you're like, you're going to get, what coach is going to get for flag football? That's been easy. I say easier over the years to get the right football coaches, because so many guys in this area, they played football through high school, some college. And so those will be our coaches for flag football, just local guys. Because every guy in Ohio is a football coach,
Oh, yes.
They're born a football coach. I've heard that. I got that from someone told me that every guy in Kentucky is born a basketball coach.
Yes.
Yeah. But in Ohio, it's football. So for our flag football, which is kindergarten through 6th grade, we'll have those coaches. Then we're going to pay referees, the same ones that do junior high and Pee Wee.
Oh, come and, legit stuff.
Yes.
Real
referee or games.
That's awesome.
Because the game, our goal for True Sports is we share the gospel.
Sure.
Because it's a ministry.
Yes.
But then we want to give them a first-class sports experience.
Okay.
And having those referees in there is going to do that, because the kids can learn so much more in a well-refereed game situation than numerous practices.
Correct.
So that's an exciting thing. And then we're also going to hire someone to come and train the cheerleaders, someone that has that experience.
How
so those
fun.
Little kindergarten through 3rd grade cheerleaders can learn, from someone that's done it at a higher level.
Yeah. So how do you get the kids to play flag football and not tackle football?
It's just the natural progression is to tackle football, but some kids look at the high school team right now.
Yeah.
They started with flag football. It's the same fundamentals you're learning in flag football.
Yes. Because I feel like, I don't know. We
tackle.
played we had in college, we did some flag football, like a girls thing, and it became tackle real fast.
Okay. So during a game,
we were sassy.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just
theory,
kidding.
Flag football is non-contact.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't explain that to the ladies.
I don't think they did. We were. But no, it was fun. But no, flag football, it's a perfect way to get the kids started with their fundamentals, learning the way the game is played, the plays, all of that
how
stuff,
to catch,
without having to worry about them getting destroyed or hurt.
Right.
Because they are little.
Right. Some of them will never play tackle football, but they'll probably play football the rest of their life in some form or fashion.
That or they'll be able to watch the game and know what's going on, which is cool.
But some of them will go to tackle. That's a natural progression for some of them. And I tell you that there's the NFL, which I love the NFL. I go to NFL.com daily. They are really pushing flag football right now. They understand that for football to be more widespread in America and in the world, that's probably going to be flag football.
Okay.
They're really pushing it. They're trying to get into the next Summer Olympics, flag football. They just had it at the World Games down in Alabama.
Love that.
Yeah. So it's.
And you know what I love about the flag football too is, as an adult even, you don't want to have to worry about getting hurt or whatever. We have jobs where we need to, kind of walk and show up and things. So it's still a way to play the game without having to worry so much about injury.
Yeah. So registration is up until Monday of next week. And something interesting, I got a call last night from a lady at the Jackson Vinton Community Action. I'm sorry, it's one way or the other. And they have funding for 32 kids that they will pay.
What?
To let them play in our league, either flag football or cheerleading. They will pay for the next 32 kids. It's all based on income, like Community Action. They do stuff.
If you need a little help.
Yes. And so if you contact them and ask them the questions, there's a good chance that they can pay for your child to play with us.
That is amazing. And because there is, this isn't free, and it does
Right.
cost a lot to put this stuff on.
Yeah. And for us, it was different back in the First Baptist Church, who I can't tell you how awesome they are.
Yeah.
They paid the insurance, they paid the maintenance, they even subsidized some of the entry fees.
Right.
That was great. But now we're on our own.
Now you're on your own.
It's different. We're doing our best. And by the way, no one in our nonprofit is making any money. We all do it as a break-even.
I was going to ask you about that. This is a nonprofit.
Right. It's a ministry opportunity for us, and that's why we do it. But we want to give the kids the best sport experience possible.
And teaching them the right way. I think that's so wonderful. Not learning in the backyard with older brothers or
right. Yeah.
I don't know. They just beat the tar out of me for 5 years. That's how I got good.
bring in coaches that play at a higher level.
Yeah.
And then those coaches be a great impact on the kids.
Absolutely. All right. So who are you looking for? So signups are through Monday. So you have a few more days to sign your children up.
Yeah.
And there you go. Register today at truesports.fun.
.fun.
Isn't that hilarious? Andy and I are like, that's so fun. Literally. So what are the kind of the parameters? So you said kindergarten through.
Okay. So, flag football is kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay.
And cheerleading is kindergarten through 3rd grade.
Okay. And then I assume that those get broken down into, age categories, things like that. You're not going to have a kindergartner playing with a 6th grader, right?
Right. So kindergarten, 1st graders play together.
Okay.
Which I'll tell you something really cool about that in a second.
Okay.
Then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay.
The cool thing about the kindergarten through 1st grade division, and this is how I get my coaches. The coach is the quarterback in that division.
Okay.
So the coach is on the field as the quarterback.
So the adult is
yes.
Okay.
And
how cute.
It's awesome.
I love that.
The coaches love that because they're back in their heyday, back in the
handing it off.
Yeah, back in the huddle, drawing up plays. But we use the coaches like that to get the plays off, because
to get them
when you
squirrel.
Yes, that exact thing right there. You get a kindergartner as the quarterback. Almost every play is, we fumbled the snap. Oh, he tripped, he fell down. But so the kindergarten 1st grade division is a blast to watch.
Yes.
Because the coaches are the quarterbacks.
And they herd the cats very well.
Yes, they herd them. And then the kids, they learn how to learn how to huddle, how to line up, how to get the play off. And then the next division, 2nd, 3rd grade, then they're doing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Hey, I was looking for this, I got the card right here from the lady from the Jackson Vinton Community Action, Tanya Bond.
Okay.
She's the one that contacted me to
call Tanya.
Tanya, yep. 384-6421. She contacted me and said the next 32 kids that meet the income requirements, that they will take care of the entry fee.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
So if you're a little bit behind the times and haven't signed your child up for True Sports yet for the flag football or cheerleading, what's the best way to do it? Do you go to that Facebook page or can they call you? Or?
It's just a regular website, truesports.fun. We do have a Facebook page too.
Okay.
But truesports.fun, and you go on there. This app is amazing to use.
Okay.
For a parent. And then for us to manage the league.
Okay.
So it's all on that app.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Like if you were signing a child up, you would go and set an account up for yourself.
Okay.
And then you would register your child. You can pay right there. And you get, we can send you notifications right through it. And it's pretty slick.
Very good.
It's 2022. It's how it should be.
I know. I mean, if there's one thing that came out of this pandemic, it's like us being creative about how to communicate with each other.
I love it when I have an app or something like that is so easy to use. I'm like, this is how it should be.
Yeah. User friendly.
Right.
Whoa.
Not making me work that hard.
100%. So, okay. So practices and games and all of that. I know a lot of parents, and I know that they are just scrounging around for time and they're stressed out and whatever. So how often do the kids practice? When are the games?
So
all of that.
Typically there's 1 or 2 practices a week for flag football.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 for cheerleading.
Okay.
When you get volunteer coaches, you're all of a sudden kind of subject to the volunteer coach's schedule.
Sure.
So a lot of that has to get worked out once we get rolling.
Okay.
And the games typically are Saturday morning.
Okay.
With some weeknight games as the season goes on. So I don't have the exact answers.
I got
because there's a lot of volunteer schedules we have to weave together to.
But I think the main part is that you work with people.
Yeah.
And whatever works out best for everybody is what you're going to do.
It's probably with practices and games, it's roughly close to just a 3-hour commitment per week.
Okay. I think we can all do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like the kids are practicing every night for 3 hours a night or anything like that. I mean,
they'll get there one day.
They will, but not right now.
But your kindergartner might not need that right
now.
No,
I don't think so. Again, you want to talk about squirrel. I mean,
yeah,
definitely lose them after an hour, right? But no, they are so cute. And it's just so fun to get the kids interested in going at that young of an age.
And that's why the community action came to me. They had funding through maybe a COVID grant or something like that. They realized more kids need to get out. They need to get back out doing things. And so they're working with us and other nonprofits and different activities to get the kids back out to doing things.
Yes, and get them out with their peers and their friends and, socializing. And my goodness, it's been rough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it stinks for you guys that, it has been rough. You couldn't do some of this stuff for a couple of years.
But we're glad we're back.
And you're back now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to go. So flag football, and cheerleading, for football, you have until Monday to sign up.
Right.
Through Monday to sign up. So get that done. And then once we get past football, we will, of course, have you back on to talk about it. But then where do we go?
We take the winter off.
Okay.
And then in the spring, we'll have soccer again.
Back to soccer.
But I tell you what I like to do in the winter.
What?
I like to find an indoor facility.
Yeah.
And get some artificial turf down and get my guys from Rio up here.
Yeah.
And do personal training, or not personal training, but one-on-one training for kids with soccer skills through the winter.
Very cool.
Because the guys from Rio, who I love, have nothing to do through the winter.
Right, and
they cannot. Yes, they cannot get enough soccer.
Skills.
So
they love their soccer.
So that's a goal we have, is to get an indoor facility somewhere where we can, through the winter, in a facility that can do the soccer training, but also baseball, batting cages and pitching training and softball and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's something we like to do also.
Okay.
Just takes the right place, the right people to help us. We've been blessed with so many people to come step up and donate to our program, or do this for us or do that for us. So we're excited about just being a big part of the sports culture and experience here in Jackson in a positive way.
Yes.
And you got to think about the kids. And when it comes to the ministry side, when I'm playing the sport, and then when I'm done playing the sport, never play it again, who am I? The character is very important for that.
Sure it is.
So because there'll be a day you don't play sports anymore. Well, where do I get my worth? Or where do I get my value?
Right.
Or my sense of worth? And that's why we do the program. That's the ministry part of it.
Love that. And that's what I was going to ask you. How do you tie the ministry in with the sports aspect?
So each, through the practices, I have a wonderful friend and another friend who's a pastor. We have written just devotions we share with the kids. And it's all fundamentals, the foundational beliefs in the Christian faith. And that's what we'll share with the kids. And it's a great, unbelievable opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And we feel that that's, from the ministry standpoint, that sharing that with the kids and letting the parents know that we just love those kids and we're there to serve them. And that's our ministry right there.
Right. It's not, we're going to shove the Bible down their throats or whatever. It's not, that's not what it's, it's about, love and teaching them and all of that.
It's about being humble.
Yep.
And serving other people.
Yeah.
That's our motivation. And no one's making any money doing it. So, sometimes you look at the ministry like, man, they're making all kinds of money. And some do. And I
mean, when you look at some of those places that you see on TV, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the private jet yet.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it for money.
When you do, can you take me somewhere?
we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it to break even and to have an opportunity to share the ministry and share the gospel through that sports ministry.
Yes.
And sports in America is amazing because like 90% of every American is impacted by sports at least once a week. My mom, 88 years old.
Makes sense.
Next month, in 2 months, she'll tell you if the Buckeyes won or not. She'll tell you if the Bengals won. I mean, it's just so ingrained in our culture. So
it is.
Sports a great way to, get the kids out there and have the opportunity to share the stuff we share with them and with their parents.
Love that.
Yeah. And that's why we do it. That's the only reason we do
it. And to get the private jet someday.
No.
Just kidding.
Before the private jet, the indoor facility.
Yes. We might want to give back to the kids a little bit more before we get the private jet. But no, we are totally kidding about that. So please, oh God, I can see it now.
What is your email for someone who wants to complain? I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't have one. That's a great thing about here. I don't have one.
You know what you should get? You should get Yelp because that's all complaints.
Oh,
you're in the restaurant business.
Isn't it fun?
Oh my gosh.
So Jamie and I were over in Athens the other day. We have a friend that has a restaurant over there, and we were delivering some kegs, picking up some kegs, and he was just like, "Oh, Yelp."
Yeah.
He was telling us about a review that someone had left, and none of it made any sense whatsoever. 1-star review, and none of it made one lick of sense. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
There's all types of way to review things, but for some reason, Yelp is the main one just to completely trash somebody for a bad experience. When I went to college in the 80s,
a few years ago,
studying business, and I know this has changed. Back then, the average was a satisfied customer would tell 3 people.
Okay.
A dissatisfied customer, 11.
I could see that, yes.
I have to believe that now with the advent of social media and the ease of complaining, it's those numbers. The 11's got to be more than that because people, they want everyone to know that they were not satisfied.
Right. And I love the ones that don't even give you the opportunity to fix anything.
Exactly. With my employees,
like, I will fix anything.
Exactly.
Like I will do my best.
Yeah. My employees, I'm like, hey,
try.
If we've made a mistake this big, let's repay it this big because we want them to be satisfied because we need them to come back. I told this blows my employees' minds when I tell them that I'm looking to serve our customers to the point that I can have their next 500 orders. Like 500 orders. That's 1 pizza a week for 10 years. I will eat 1 pizza a week for 10 years.
Sure.
So we can't, you're in the same business. You can't sever that relationship. So if we make a mistake, let us make it right. Tell us and let us apologize and make it right.
Don't blast us on
don't go to Yelp.
but before you even leave the place. Don't sit there at my table and kill me.
Let us make it right.
Yeah, no. I think that's one of the most frustrating things about the hospitality industry is that people don't. If you want to complain, cool, but let me fix it.
Right.
If you're not going to give me an opportunity to fix it, then I don't really want to hear about it.
Here'd be a great review. They messed my food up, but the manager came out and made it right. And
correct.
They did the right thing, and it was awesome.
And it was great. And I will certainly give them another opportunity because they care.
Right. Or just don't write anything.
And again, if you screw it up and you don't fix it, then you deserve what you get.
Right.
But give someone an opportunity to. Oh, I had one that was gonna. She was gonna call the sheriff on me because we accidentally. She was traveling through, and her child was, had gluten issues, and we accidentally gave her, some shrimp with breading on it instead of grilled shrimp. It was just a miscommunication. And she literally was sitting there at the table. So I went to the table and she said she was getting ready to call the sheriff.
Wow.
And I said, well, I got his number. So here you go.
And it's right around the corner.
I mean, he's not far.
He might walk.
He'll probably answer if you call. So
I had a customer.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
One busy Friday night, I had a customer call me up, very angry. And he was telling me that he was going to own my restaurant.
Oh.
If one of my, and I forget what caller he said, he was saying if one of my red delivery cars pulled out in front of him again, he's going to own my business. I said, "Sir, I don't even have a red delivery car." "Yes, you do." It was that type of argument. But somehow, I don't know how the process works that he ends up owning my restaurant because of that. But yeah, if one of my red delivery cars pulled out in front of him again.
Okay.
Like, I have 3 gray cars. Anyways,
we've often
good
said,
times.
Oh, it is. We've often said that, like restaurant owners, we should have a support group, and it would be a fun podcast.
Yeah,
Like
just
topic of the day. Craziest thing someone's complained about.
Yeah,
Go, everybody talk.
I read a review on Yelp one time, and
here we go back to the Yelp again.
It said, "I ate at this Pizza Hut, but the one in Columbus is a lot better than this one was."
Oh. Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Okay.
1-star review. Some people understand what we're talking about right now.
I know.
Around the restaurant business, other people are like, "What's wrong with them?"
I know. Why are they being whiny children?
it's the fun outweighs this by far. But
far, yes.
But you have to laugh at stuff like this, or you'll cry yourself to sleep every night.
You will, or drive yourself crazy. Yes, absolutely.
And the people around you.
Yes. But it is. It takes all kinds.
But
yes. But for the most part, and people, I will say, you asked about the pandemic, and not to get into all that again, but I had a lot of people ask me when we were able to reopen and all of that. I bet people were just jerks, and when they came back in, whatever. I was like, no. I mean, like literally, I could say 98% of people are freaking awesome.
yes, and they were so happy for us that we survived.
Yes.
Because again, 100,000 restaurants did not survive.
Yeah. And so it's just that those couple that, but really, I mean, I will say in our small little community, I thought everybody kicked butt, and like, customers were they followed the rules. They, you heard these horror stories on the national news about people getting in fist fights and whatever. And I'm like, I didn't see any of that. Right. I had a few people say, why can't I pull these tables together or whatever? Because it's gen law. And I say no, because I don't want to get that.
Right.
Because I've got it situated and I don't want you moving my stuff.
Yeah.
Gen law.
It was no fun being the sheriff in your own restaurant. Like, hey, put your mask back on. That was no fun.
Correct. But for the most part, people were very cool and understanding. Right. So thank you, community.
Yes. Yeah. And thank you to the ones that were genuinely happy for us that we survived, that we, made it through.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, it's rough out there. It's rough out there anyway, let alone, global pandemics and having to shutter your doors and, whatever. But it's fine.
But, owning our own business, we'd have it no other way. That's
right. And, at the end of the day, we choose to do what we do. So you kind of deserve what you get, don't you?
The 98% of the people.
Yes.
The 2% are on Yelp, by the way.
Yes, those 2%.
Nonstop.
They're the 1-stars on Yelp.
All the time on Yelp.
And the funny part is, if you look at all their reviews, they're pretty much all that same
they're not
review.
Happy about anything, and they want everyone to know about it. I had Yelp call me one time. Well, I'm probably going to get some hate mail from Yelp. Do they watch this show?
I don't think so. Okay. I think you're safe. Mr. Yelp, sorry.
They wanted to, and I can't remember all of it, but they wanted me to pay $600 a month.
Yes. Oh, of course they do.
And they were somehow going to manage all this for me, all my reviews and this and that.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, wow, $600 a month? And we're surprised that I was not interested.
Yes. I'm like, why would I pay you when people get on there for free and do it?
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to leave me reviews regardless.
That's what I couldn't put together in my mind either.
They do that because they want to control it all and they want your money.
Yeah.
It's all about money. Isn't that weird?
So what else? How can we end on a high note?
I don't know. Andy, what can we do on a high note here?
Well, I have a sort of game, if you will, if you guys are willing.
Andy has a game?
Well, if you want to call that. It's just simply called Caption This.
Okay.
I stumbled across this on my way in, and I want you guys to caption it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. What?
That is a horse in the field with the state patrol sitting there just watching the horse.
That's like live. You saw that happen.
I saw that on my way in, yes.
Caption it, John.
This is what my sergeant used to ride when he started.
Love it. Which end does the food go in? I don't know.
See, my caption, the first one was just horsing around, which was too easy. That's low hanging fruit.
Love it.
But it was also with the price of gas. Maybe he's going to try to convert it to his new vehicle.
I know. Will my new light bar fit on that horse? Yeah.
Anybody in the comments, anybody watching this, you can capture this, play along with us.
That is so funny. Where was that, Andy? Just not so super specific.
It was in Albany off 143.
Well, I will say, as somebody that does have horses who have more than once been on the other side of the fence, I feel for whoever that is and the patrolman, because number one, if you don't know how to catch them, it's terrifying. And number two, I'm sure the horse is scared or not, because he's just chilling out eating.
The horse was just acting like he wasn't even there.
Like, he's like, I'm on the other side of the fence. Woo, the grass is greener. That could have been a good caption.
Yeah,
the grass is greener.
I like that. That's good.
But yeah, the patrolman's thinking, I don't get paid enough for this.
So are you saying right now that the horse really is in charge of the situation?
100%. Yes.
Even though the other guy has a gun?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Horse doesn't care. I will say that God bless them. Some of my neighbors just keep, and knock on wood, hasn't happened in a really long time, because I think we had a hole somewhere. We never did find out where the hole was, but anyway, our neighbors just kept a supply of apples and carrots on hand, so that if we happened to not be home, they would go, corral them and throw them back in the field for us. So thank you to our neighbors who are so kind, and would stop when, the donkey was standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah, nice. It's worth noting that this was my neighbor's house, so I just stopped to make sure he knew whose house it was, and she was on her way, and the cop handled it well. He could hear the owner yelling, and he told the horse, "Uh-oh, you're going to get in trouble."
Oh.
So he handled it well. He didn't have to stop. He wanted to make sure the horse stayed out of the road and made sure everyone was safe. So
and that's we've had the highway patrol in a couple of times recently, and that's what they should be remembered for, not the other stuff, because that is the majority of their job right there, is safety and helping people.
And when there's a giant dangerous issue, they're going toward that. We get away from it.
Yeah, we run from it. They run to it
to take care of it. Yeah,
100%. Are you that person that runs to the fire or away?
And I was surprised. They come in the beach shop a lot. I was talking to the state highway patrolman that they need more state highway patrolmen.
Very much.
I was surprised, because when I grew up, that was a gold standard of a job.
You could not get into the academy. It was, you had to know somebody, a congressman or something, to get into the academy. And now they are they're recruiting and looking for good folks to join. So there you go. If you're looking for a career path, Andy, there you go.
Oh man, I couldn't do it. I do not envy them. I respect them, but I couldn't do it.
I know you have to be a very, very special person to be a first responder of any sort.
Walk up on a 3 a.m. on a country road with the car you just pulled over.
Yeah. Have no idea.
Yeah.
Whew, tough. Yeah. So that was a good note.
Yeah.
And so did the horse make it back home, or?
I left. I heard the owner coming up her driveway. So I assume, this isn't, it's right across from my house. It's not the first time it happened. It won't be the last. So I assume all's well that ends well. But it wasn't something you see every day.
No, it's definitely not something that you see every day. Yeah. Are you a Yellowstone fan?
I have 6 kids.
You probably don't watch Yellowstone
I don't watch much TV. The thing we like to watch NFL football, so that's the most TV we watch the whole year.
Gotcha.
And then really when the NFL season's over, I'm like tired of football.
Yes.
So it takes me a few months to get past it, but I'm back now.
Okay.
I'm back.
He's ready.
I'm ready for some football. Yeah.
Yeah. Buckeyes, speaking of, not NFL, but college, Buckeyes preseason number 2 coming out in the country, and have quite a Jamie was telling me that I think it was ESPN listed like the top 10 anticipated games of the season, and we were like 4 of them.
That first game?
Yeah, there's Penn State, Notre Dame, of course, Michigan, and I think there was one other one that was certainly ranked up there. So.
It'll be interesting to see. My father-in-law talks about this all the time, but interesting to see what they do with college football divisions over the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's
like
gone
they're talking about
amok.
having like
Crazy.
3 or 4 major divisions. Be interesting to see. You saw the teams in California wanting to come
Yes.
to the Big Ten. That says a lot.
It is a little ironic. Yeah, I'm sure you can see the irony when the Big Ten is like now the big
14,
15,
maybe 14 or 15.
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
At what
is it?
point do we change our
18? I want to say
18.
At what point do we change the name, or do we ever change the name?
And I'm more interested in what's the NCAA role going to be in a year or two? Because right now the NCAA governs things, but they really don't. So with this new realignment, they could separate themselves from the NCAA, which I think is interesting.
It's all stuff that's mind blowing.
Next 5 or 10 years will be very interesting to see college football, because you mentioned earlier, it's all about the dollar. There's billions of dollars at stake there.
It is. And we could do an entire program on whether these kids should be able to benefit from themselves in college. Because I don't know. You could argue both sides, but it's almost like a prostitution thing. I mean, they're making colleges and the NCAA's making all this money off these kids,
Right.
and they're not allowed to make it themselves. And
yeah,
I don't know. I see both sides, but
you get the free education, which is worth something. But
absolutely,
you're right. It's apples and oranges now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get the free education for this amount, but the college is making this amount. So yeah, be interesting next few years.
It's going to be, and I think that you'll find that the players, and a lot of these players, and I understand that argument too, come from nothing.
Right.
So they get a free education, cool, and that's amazing. But they also need to live.
Right.
They need, money to go to Taco Bell and buy books and all of this stuff, and they deserve that. If they can make some money off their talent, then
right.
And it's hard for them to have time to get a part-time job too.
Right. They don't have time for it. I mean, they eat, breathe, and sleep whatever sport they're playing.
Right. So what do you like pro football?
I do. Especially Joe.
Oh, okay. Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So
isn't he cute?
I'm going to do this. Mark my words.
Okay.
When they win the Super Bowl, and by the way, let me preface this by saying I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Okay.
But I'm rooting for the Bengals.
How do you not? You just
they
can't
deserve
not.
It.
They do. Finally.
Almost as much as the Browns.
Yes.
But anyways, when they win the Super Bowl, I'm going to rent a billboard on 32.
Okay.
Heading toward Athens.
Yes.
And say, congratulations, Joe Burrow. Come see me sometime at Cardo's Pizza. P.S. Bring Jamar with you. Because Joe Burrow's got to be driving out 32, when he
has
comes
to be.
back to
Yes.
unless he has the private jet. He might have
I don't think he's there yet.
But anyways, when they win the Super Bowl, you're going to see that billboard.
And
I'm going to invite Joe Burrow to come by the pizza shop.
Woohoo! Maybe he'll come to an Upward flag football game.
That'd be awesome. Truth.
Truth.
Sports,
I'm sorry. Yeah, Truth.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But I wanted to do it. I was actually going to do it this year. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I could not get the billboard. So I'm going to have to just start a little earlier with my strategy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I might go to that first Bengals game this year. It's versus the Steelers in Cincinnati on the 11th of September.
Nice.
Yeah. Turns out my supplier, I don't know if you ever benefited from this, but my main supplier has wonderful tickets at every Bengals home game. I didn't know this for 30 years.
Where have you been?
I found out last year, and we went these beautiful club level seats. You're right there. You go back into this beautiful area with all this food and stuff. So
yeah, where's that been all our lives?
I went last year, and I said, could I go ahead and get on the list for the Steelers game next year? So I'm hoping to be there. Okay,
very good. Well, you have to give us a report back on how it goes.
Also, next time I come, I'm going to give a report back on my YouTube channel. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh.
You as a restaurant person are going to love this idea.
Okay.
I'm working on a YouTube channel.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Very fun. All right. We'll give you a report back then, too.
How much time do we have, by the way?
We're out of time.
Are we even on the air?
We're just chatting.
I forgot to press the button at the very beginning, so we haven't been on.
Oh, ha,
Did you record
Andy,
it?
I'm gonna kick your butt over there. See, this is what happens when James leaves.
All right, I'm going to make pizza.
Well, John, thank you so much. Stop in, see, free plug for Cardo's. Amazing, amazing pizza every day. You guys do a fantastic job. True Sports, if you are interested in signing your child up for, can girls sign up?
Oh, yeah.
Girls can play football?
I've seen some amazing girls play football, flag football.
Love it.
Because, girls develop a little faster than boys. And I've seen girls dominate the games.
We're a little better at multitasking, too. So, anyway, that's just my... TrueSports.fun,
I think, is what you're driving at.
Yes, TrueSports.fun. Register today. You have till Monday to do it. So get in there and register your child. And there is a little bit of help as well if you need that. So
through the community action. And thank you and Matt and my best customer I've ever had, Pete Wilson, for helping get the word out about these programs.
Absolutely. Come back and see us anytime. It's good to see you.
Rock on.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you so much for watching. And we will be right back here tomorrow on Friday with, I think, Dan and Pete or Dan and Pete. I'm not sure which.
Right.
But we'll be talking high school football. And maybe some friends from Oak Hill as well. Or Vinton County. You never know.
Sports.
We're going to be talking about football tomorrow. So tune in. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.